A scatterplot displays the relationship between two quantitative variables. The scatterplot below is showing the relationship between the two quantitative variables, daily total dollars of sweater sales and daily high temperature. These two quantitative variables come from our original data set, daily high temperature and daily total dollars of sweater sales. Each pair of values is plotted as an ordered pair, and that is how the scatterplot is created. The horizontal axis is representing the daily high temperature, and the vertical axis is representing the daily total dollars of sweater sales. Since we have 50 rows of data, we have 50 dots in our scatterplot. And all of these dots are the ordered pairs of the two values, daily sweater sales and daily high temperature, from the data set. For example, on day 17, the daily high temperature was 64 degrees and the total dollars of sweater sales was 614. This ordered pair is 64 and 614. This dot right here represents day 17. In this lesson, we're going to go over 3 different types of relationships that we can see in a scatterplot between two quantitative variables. Two quantitative variables have a positive relationship when data points create a pattern with an upward or positive slope. Taking a look at the scatterplot for average water ride line wait times versus daily high temperature, we see that as the temperature rises, so does the average time of waiting for the water ride. This is a positive relationship because we see that these dots are in a pattern that is heading upward, so this has a positive slope. Two quantitative variables have no relationship when the data points create a pattern with no slope. In our example for daily attendance versus daily high temperature, we see that all of these dots create a pattern that does not appear to go up and does not appear to go down. When we see a scatterplot without an upward or downward movement, we will say that these two variables have no relationship. Two quantitative variables have a negative relationship when data points create a pattern with a downward or negative slope. In our example of daily total dollars of sweater sales versus daily high temperature, we see that the pattern of these dots is heading in this downward direction. When we see data in this type of pattern, we will say that it has a negative relationship. Let's check for understanding. Which scatterplot is displaying a negative relationship between two quantitative variables? How do you know? The scatterplot from A or the scatterplot from B? Scatterplot blank is displaying a negative relationship between two quantitative variables because B. Scatterplot B is displaying a negative relationship between two quantitative variables because the data points are creating a pattern with a downward or negative slope.